Hi, my name's Nikki Davey, and these are my top tips for a lifelong adventure in learning. I guess if you're watching this, QI is something that excites you, but when did it ever get into your game plan to learn about it? It was never in mine. I was going to be a pharmacist for life, and I got pretty good at it. But about 10 years ago, I decided that I wanted to learn more, and so today I'd like to share that journey with you. I left my pills and potions behind me on the counter, and I set off learning two new skills: quality improvement and riding a motorbike, both at the same time. I knew very little about either, and I didn't appreciate how those two learning journeys might be intertwined. But with a vague aim in mind about getting good, I set off on these. I got my big bike test, but I wasn't really in control, as my speeding ticket showed. With quality improvement, I chose a better route. I went to the Institute of Healthcare Improvement and I did the Patient Safety Officers Programme. I was good to go. But on my bike, despite sitting pretty, in truth, I was paralysed by fear. Dark corners, scary bends, wet roads, crazy drivers, and wild animals, dead or alive. I needed to rewire my brain. With quality improvement, I was in a better place. I was learning from the best in the world, the high flyers, people who've been doing this for their life's career. And what that meant was I appreciated how many levels below them I was. In fact, it felt like a drop. And I knew all about drops. When you're riding a motorbike and you're going very slowly, it's least stable. And yes, I did drop it, to the cheers and jeers of the audience around. And with quality improvement too, it felt like that. Sometimes I always felt I might lose my head, fluff my lines in front of my peers. But I had friends on hand. They were travelling the same journeys with me. And if we dropped the baton, we'd help each other get back on track. And with that support, my confidence was able to grow. And I believed I could make it to the next level. After all, I've mastered medicines, and yes, QI is new and different. But as the saying goes, if you always did what you always done, you'll always get what you always got. And I was clear that I wanted to be the best that I could. So I began to extend and probe the boundaries of my knowledge. I began to acquire new skill sets and mental models. I became much more curious, and with that, I became much more courageous, and I began to overcome my fear. I was able to get some firsts as well. I did my first driver diagram. I developed my own improvement measure. I did my first systems change, and I presented this to others in a poster. And I even published my first paper. And on the bike too, I was able to get some firsts. I read my first book, I did my first track day, and I acquired some sporting heroes. I also did my first tour, and I was able to do this because I also had a coach, my riding observer, who gave me great feedback and encouraged me to practice. And this allowed me to raise my line of vision, to expand my horizons. I was able to read the road ahead and anticipate the hazards. And in quality improvement too, I was beginning to be able to create the conditions to take risks and stay safe. And this became my new norm. Failure became my friend, a way of learning fast. And this meant I could go where I wanted to, when I wanted to, and most importantly, where I felt I could make a real difference. And as you know, with healthcare, the deck chairs are always moving. And so when the organisation I was in closed down, I needed to create a new future. I founded the Quality Improvement Clinic, and that enabled me to learn, practice and share with even more people. And by now I felt I was really ready and well prepared. I was able to take concepts like PDSA and audit and explore the relationship between them. I could see that if you did multiple PDSA cycles, you could use them to implement change and make audit really make a difference and count. And I found this really exhilarating. Almost as exhilarating as this biker's route here. This is called the Cattle and Fiddle. It's 8.5 miles of twisties, and it is really good fun. But yes, the A&E at the bottom does stay open to catch the failures. But if you practice, you reduce the risks. And if visibility is poor, you slow down or pull over. Not so in healthcare. You don't have that luxury. It's much more complex. Everyone has different aims. Politicians, managers, clinicians, they're jostling for position, and executives exit without warning. Everything is urgent, but nothing seems to happen fast. And so this is where I need to be inspired by people like Julie Reed, who's taught me so much about PDSA, Trisha, who's encouraged me to do co-production, Nadeem, who's helped me appreciate systems through the lenses of Deming, and Justine, who's helped me appreciate the role of a great QI sponsor. And most of all, the people I teach. Their wins are my wins. For those of you who love teaching, you'll understand the buzz I get from this and the immense joy of seeing people grow. It's just the best. So, if you're ever in doubt, I hope that my story will encourage you to believe and think that you can be a force for change, to do things differently, to get a different and better outcome, to have joy in the act of change, and to practice, learn and share your story with others too. So this was my Pecha Kucha, and there's a number of people that I'd like to thank for this. There's NHS Improvement and the Health Foundation, who encouraged and sponsored us to present this to the Q community. There's all the people that I've been with on the whole of my learning journey, far too many to name. There's my colleagues and associates at the Quality Improvement Clinic and QIC Learn, who continue to inspire me on a daily basis. And finally, a thank you to Amanda Wilshire, who's helped me learn how to really connect with my audience.